gentlemen, please take a seat. We are about to begin. Welcome to documentary premiere night here at YWAM Harpenden. We are super excited to celebrate with you the hard work of our students. May you inspired and encouraged by the stories presented to you tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Want it that way?
I'll take this one. I've got two microphones. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our DFS premiere film night. It really is so cool to see so many of you. We were a little afraid, if I'm honest, because many people were traveling and we have DTS preparing for outreach and we have so many people in the room, and that really excites me because this evening is not about me. It's about these two amazing students who have really worked really hard, and I really want to honor them today by being here with this premiere. So thank you so much for coming.
And thank you also to everyone watching this live stream, the DTS, but also family and friends, and, well, all the people that couldn't be here. Thank you for watching, and welcome to this evening.
You guys can take a seat. Are we ready to start the evening?
Yes.
So tonight we have 5 different films, 5 different stories that we'd like to present to you. So at the end we'll have 2 longer stories that the students have worked on in the last couple of weeks. But before that we want to present to you a project called the Values Project. So during the school the students had a week, no actually 3 days, the time to make a short documentary on one of the YWAM values. And the idea was to inform and educate and inspire others. And we've done a short video of the behind the scenes to kind of introduce this project to you guys. So, yeah.
Enjoy.
Enjoy.
I've been filming B-roll.
Our goals changed maybe a little bit or something.
My name is Sophia, I'm from Finland, and I'm staffing the documentation station.
My name is Wyatt, Alderman. I am originally from Oregon, but I am now here doing a documentary film school.
My name is Fernanda. I'm from Brazil, Minas Gerais in Brazil, and I'm doing DFS here in Harpenden.
The last 5 weeks here in our school have been really full of learning about, first of all, like storytelling, how God is a storyteller and how we're part of His greater story, and also just technical side like camera work, lights, how to do interviews.
I think all documentaries, my favorite part is always the interview. Because I think in the interview we can capture the heart of the whole story.
And redo that take.
Yeah, you're gonna ask him.
One of the things that really frightening me, even today, is having to actually call a random stranger on the other end of the line saying, hey, I want to interview you, and just trying to act like you know what the heck you're doing, and just being like bold and confident, but while you're on the other line, you're just like shaking in your boots like I was. I want to learn how to get over that.
My name is Johannika, and I'm staffing the documentary film school in YWAM Harpenden. This values project is really to test their ability to create a story from A to Z. So they're going to research, they're going to find out what is the story that they want to tell. They're going to interview, they're going to make a shot list and capture B-roll, and they are going to do a paper edit, which is lots of fun, and they're going to put it in their timeline and create and shape this story that is hopefully going to be very inspirational.
I'm really excited to see how we can find this story. We have an idea, but we don't have it yet. It also challenges me.
I think the most challenging in this week is the time, because for me this project is very cool, and you can do something very special, but we have no time. We have just 3 days.
No, just keep everything and just, yeah.
I think what excites me in this project, or when I walk alongside them as a staff, maybe my favorite part is to see their whole blob of a story. Maybe it's like a messy chaos, and to make that into a story that makes sense, but that's interesting and that captivates the audience.
Applies it every day on the field. I've tried and I've failed and I've succeeded, and this is what I've learned from it.
If I would have to do this project over again, to be faithful in the little things and to be open to learn more, because I think always we can learn more. So yeah, baby steps is important.
One of the things that I feel like I've definitely overcome has been being able to reach out and make first contact with people, and calling them and being and sounding professional, and being more confident. Yeah, I'm really happy with this film and how it turned out.
I've been filming B-roll.
When Madonna sings, "I am a material girl and I live in a material world," it's not just an artistic expression. She's discipling nations.
So I had the privilege to
lies.
work with Fernanda. Together we were a team for a couple of days.
I don't really like talking about a Christian worldview, but a biblical worldview, because there are a lot of
biblical worldview. We did some research. What does it mean to have a worldview in the first place? And then after that, we had a weekend, and then it was Monday, and then it's like, we only have 3.5 days, and the whole thing needs to be finished. So yes, that was definitely challenging, but well, we made it happen. Fernanda made lots of appointments. We captured the interviews, transcribed, printing on paper, cutting, rearranging, editing, filming extra video clips, drone shots, finding music, changing the order, go back over it again, and well, let's see.
When Madonna sings, "I am a material girl and I live in a material world," it's not just an artistic expression. She's discipling nations with lies. I don't really like talking about a Christian worldview, but a biblical worldview, because there are a lot of distortions in Christendom of what a worldview should be. So we have to go to the Bible to find out what the true one is. Well, a worldview is how you see reality. Possibly the most significant part of a Christian worldview for today's society is that in the Bible, truth is objective, it's real, and it's knowable.
My name is Damaris Carvalho. At the beginning, I was a teacher in the middle of Amazon. And then I moved to northeast of Brazil, where I worked with street kids.
My name is Eduardo Vieira. I'm from Brazil. I'm a musician, a mix engineer, and broadcast engineer.
Every society is made up of a lot of different areas of endeavor, of work, of production. You know, some of them are the family, church, arts and entertainment, and celebration, sports, the industry and commerce, government, education. So it's a way of looking at society and getting it into a more manageable sectors that you can influence.
I'm working in this area of training because I love people. I think that's it. And I love to see the transformation that knowledge can bring to people. One of the things that I always welcome is questions. I believe that there is no better way to learn.
We're getting all this polarization all over the world, fed by artificial intelligence through social media, and it's all very confusing. Everybody sort of makes up their own reality. The trouble is that's not in line with what really exists. God is the great I am, and there is a rock-solid, immovable, unchangeable reality at the center of everything.
There are people that were called to do music for church, and there were Christians that were called to do music for outside church. In a church, people and the leaders and the pastor, they need to encourage the songwriters to do music for outside.
The musicians, the artists, are upstream from government. Government is a result of popular culture. It usually starts this way, with intellectuals in an academic atmosphere, universities. But they don't really have to deal with real life, so they're free to just think up whatever they want. But if they get artists to accept what they're trying to sell and put it into their music, that's how it gets into the general culture. And so they believe what their artists are singing.
Music and then art has like shaping and like directing us in the one direction, and then the society is following that. Music can change lives.
Many Christian young people now don't have a biblical worldview, and it leaves people confused and constantly in flux and change and readjustments. So worldview makes a huge difference practically in the way we live our lives.
We're going to welcome those doubts. We're going to welcome people who probably think different. And I want to invite people to have this knowledge. And through the knowledge of who God is, they will be able to have freedom.
If you are an engineer, if you are a musician, if you are a doctor, love the Lord of God with all your mind, all your soul. Go out and make disciples.
In order to discover that, the way we have of discovering it and having confidence in how we're interpreting things is going to the Word of God. That's where we see reality.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm staffing also the DFS. And I worked with Wyatt for this project, and it was great experience to learn how to teach and how to really pass that knowledge that I have gained during the few years that I've been doing documentary filmmaking. And yeah, we chose the value number 12, which is do first, then teach. And yeah, I think we learned a lot from the interviews. I think there was so many good points that our interviewees had about this topic. And yeah, let's see what we learned.
When I was invited to work in the cafe around 3 years ago, I thought that that was a big mistake.
Probably at the time in Harpenden, we had had the word of the Lord a few times about a cafe. I could see that we had an opportunity here to do something really well, and it not just be a coffee shop, but be a really good, top quality coffee shop that people would appreciate.
The value do first and then teach was probably a big and good example of how was my first week in the cafe. I was really worried that I wouldn't understand what they want me to do or how I should do things around. I had a really good team that was working here during the time, and they were so patient. They were really willing to teach me, show me how things work.
For me, the whole value of do first, then teach is about an authenticity. In other words, it's not just an idea, but it's actually something that's been worked through.
The difference I've seen between going to university and having a professor who studied a subject and read books and has us read books and that's about it, compared to having someone who applies it every day on the field. I've tried and I've failed and I've succeeded, and this is what I've learned from it.
To know coffee, and he wants a regular size, so then we add to the products and then to pay. I felt so uncomfortable in the beginning. I really felt that that wasn't my place, that I wouldn't be able to talk to people, and that was just such a big thing, like actually believing that I was capable to getting better and being able to do what I do now.
Part of the teaching is impartation, and if there isn't impartation, then people don't quite grasp the doing first.
Well, now that I'm the manager, I got in the position that I'm having to teach people. So I really feel that it's my way, well, it's my turn to be showing the way that we should be doing. So usually I sit here, and then I need to count everything. Okay, so be passionate. It's not only being passionate about coffee, but also about people. Being passionate about the things we do in the cafe.
We want to help you be the best you can be at it, and we're not going to rush you and throw you into something where we think you'll fail. Someone will always come alongside and help and show you.
We want to treat them well. We want to really have the chance to do discipleship in any way we can.
I think one of the things that hinders people from applying do first then teach is the accessibility of information. I could Google something, right, and I can tell you right now what it says, and I can pretend like I'm an expert in it because I can instantly have all this information at my fingertips instead of like tried and true practice to actually know what I'm talking about.
I know some people that they come to work with us and they were so shy and they were so uncomfortable to have to talk to others. But at some point, you really have to make yourself vulnerable. Like if you don't know the language well, you have to try. What is it? That would be that one. The decaf. So just a normal latte, small. Another thing I love about discipleship is that we have teenagers that come to work with us. They never really had the experience of how to work before in a business. We give them the chance of actually making mistakes and learning here.
This is what it's really about. People think it's about the latte art.
When you see Jesus, he says, "Follow me," and then shows the disciples. And that's where this value comes from. I think that's why it's so applicable.
I think the world without the value of do first and then teach would look a lot less honest, and I believe trust and honesty are pillars of the community that change society.
If I would give an advice to someone that is trying to apply the value, I would say be patient. Sometimes it can be difficult, but actually it's so much easier and so much better when you are walking with someone.
Isn't it amazing? 3.5 days producing these stories. Yeah. That was it. That was the inside of the students, I think. The tension, late nights. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. 3.5 days. What we do in the school to make a story, we simplify the process. So we want to make it about the story. So we first find a story, then we develop the story. And developing the story is understanding the story, talking to people, doing research. And once you kind of know what you want to share, it's about capturing the story. So you do interviews, and you contact people, and you get B-roll, the supporting images that kind of decorate the story. And once you've done that, you build the story. So what we do in the school, we transcribe every interview. So everything that's being said is being transcribed into a document. And then we're going to highlight the things that we think are very interesting with the color, different colors. And sometimes colors for different themes in the story. And then we cut them out. And once they're cut out, we put them on the wall, because a good story has a good beginning, right? Has a good middle, and has a good ending. So then we put those pieces, all those highlighted transcriptions on the board. So we build the story. And when we're done, we build a script. We go to the computer and we take all those snippets and we make it digital, on a piece of paper, digital. And then we go to the computer and we put it on the timeline, and then we shape the story. We put a nice jacket around it, the sound, the supporting images. And then when we're done, that's what we're doing today. We're sharing the story. So that's a lot of work. And I commend you guys. You guys have done so well in just 3.5 days, getting the whole story done. This is really a lot of work. So I hope you guys have been inspired. I hope you guys have been educated, knowing more about the value. I hope you something maybe touched you, something you're like, oh, I never thought about it that way. That's what we want to do in the school. We want to be spirit-led storytellers. And I think that's one of the things that we try to be different in. So before we start a story, we first listen, and we first go back to the Lord and say, Lord, is this really the story that you want us to tell? And that's something that you guys have done. You guys have listened, and you guys have waited before developing the story. And yeah, I hope you guys have been inspired. This year, we want to do something different in our program. We want to make it a little bit interactive. Do you have a phone with you? Yes? Very good. So, Sophia is going to be our quiz master. So, welcome to the stage, and have fun.
Okay, guys, you can win something in this game. Okay, get your phones up, and I'll ask if we can have the Kahoot QR code over there, and you can join the game. You can already go to kahoot.it if you are quick. There we go. Can we have the sound as well? Unfortunately, I think people online watching might not be able to join it because there's delay, I think. But okay, already 12, 13. Oh my goodness, so many. Amazing. Oh, I see DTS is really watching us. Okay, great. Can we have the music as well? It's, I think, in the corner there. Oh my goodness. Is everybody in now? Not yet? A few more seconds. Okay. Okay, let's get started then. You can just press start. Just close the QR. No, close the QR. There's a. Good song. Together.
Yeah, I think we need the QR code again, Thiago. It's coming. Just wiggle with your hands, move around. Oh yeah. Just for you to know, when we're done this evening, we're gonna have music. We have a disco ball, and it's gonna be fun. So you can do a warming up with your hands and with your hips. Yeah, it's coming up. Yes, so I will take over. I was just thinking maybe we can have our students maybe just present themselves, where they're from, because we haven't even presented ourselves. I even haven't presented myself. My name is Jonathan de Jong. I'm from the Netherlands. I am here leading the school with Johanneke, my wife, the beautiful lady in the green. And yeah, we've been here in Harpenden for around 3 years, and we are so excited to be able to be part of this school. That's me. Wyatt, Alderman. I'll give you a couple of seconds before we can get this done. Oh yeah, I know, I said who he is. Oh, here you go.
Hello everybody, my name is Wyatt Alderman. I am from Oregon and mostly lived there all my life, except now I'm living here for some reason. And I'm doing a school of documentary filmmaking. And as you saw in one of my films, and coming up soon, after the break, you will see another one of my films. So just be prepared. And Fernanda.
Yeah, my name is Fernanda. I'm from Brazil, Minas Gerais in Brazil. And you'll see my movie as well, so I'm happy and I'm excited about it. So yeah, that's it.
Yes, Fernanda. One of the things I love when we have schools here at YWAM Harpenden is that we have students and people from different countries, different nations. And one of the things that I love about the University of the Nations is that it's not us, you know, it's not transactional. I am here to teach you and you need to be almost like my copy because I know how to do it and you do it. That's what this university is not what it's about. It's about us as a group learning. And the schools that I've led, I've always learned something new about myself. I've changed as a person. And as someone who leads a school, it's always my desire, of course, to have people learn their skills and become better filmmakers. But one of the things that I am passionate about is seeing people change in who they are as a person. So people from different cultures is fantastic. It changes us, it shapes us, and it has been a privilege. Sophia, do we have an update? Okay. Sophia will take over. Your box.
Thank you for your patience. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we had really good relationships in this school, you can see.
Okay, let's get started again. Please join again to the game. Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a new QR code. And you can join in. Who's fast? Jay, Mike, Damaris. Oh, Come on, Jess, Fernanda. Let's see who's gonna win this game. Okay, 5 more seconds, and then we're starting. Be quick. All right, let's get started. We can. Okay, so the first question. Which one of these is not a documentary style? Expository mode, poetic mode, participatory mode, artsy mode? Is not. Ooh, 30 people knew. Very good. All right, next question. I can't see who's winning, who got it the fastest. Too short. Next question, yes. You can just put the next question. Oh, Little John. Oh, come on. Next question. The documentary film school was founded by Jonathan de Jong, Janice Rogers, Janice Auntie, David Cunningham. Auntie, sorry. Okay. 5 people knew. It's wrong? Oops, sorry. Oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. Okay. Do you want to correct? Oh my goodness. So sorry, Janice. Okay, we can go to next question. Who is always hungry in the classroom? Wyatt, Jonathan, Fernanda, Sophia. Very good. Most of the people knew. Wonder why. All right. Oh, BCC boys, come on. You know Wyatt well. Okay, next question. In filming process, you first build and then shape the story. True or false? Very good. That is how it goes. Oh, have you done DFS before? All right, next question. What is Fernanda's favorite editing program? DaVinci, Sony Vegas, Final Cut, Premiere Pro, sorry. Oh, there's a lot of people who know that too. Ooh, somebody knows. Next question. What is this called? Dead cat, wind cover, fluffy duffy, rabbit's tail. Rabbit's tail. Not. Okay. Good job, Jonathan. All right, who is DFS? Who in DFS is the drone master? Sophia, Martin, Johanneke, Wyatt. Oh, very good. He's a really good drone pilot. All right, next question, which is the last question. Which college of UFN is DFS part of? Arts, Education, Communications, Christian Ministries. Woohoo! Very good. Let's see who won. Oh! Is this really you, Jonathan? No. Who is it? Who won?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can come and pick up your prize. That was sneaky. Kenan, welcome.
Yeah, well done, Kenan. Well done. One of the things that we have said many times to the students in their individual projects that we're going to actually start now is we adapt. We've had so many moments when something was planned and didn't work. What do? You adapt. When you lose a file, what do? You cry, and then you adapt. I think that has been the phrase of this project, of the individual project that's coming up. Our school, the documentary film school, is part of the University of the Nations within the College of Communications. And it's a 3-month course where our desire, our objective is to train someone, even if they know nothing about filmmaking, but they have a desire to learn and they have a heart for media and understanding what media can mean for them, is bringing someone from here with knowing almost nothing, bringing them to what you're going to see tonight. So it's amazing. I think what we can just do in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, in helping someone understand, how do you find that story? How do you develop the story? How do you capture it? How do you build and shape it? And how do you share it? I think it's always fascinating to see the results of the students' premiere nights, what you're going to see now. So the students had 3 weeks, the time to do this whole process. They had to have a final piece, a deliverable piece between 12 and 14 minutes, 5 characters, and it had to have a good story structure that we've talked to them about as they presented their story in the beginning of the week. We've asked them to make some changes, to consider changes. They are still the director of their story, so they can allow us to see those changes happen. But yeah, you guys have done so well with these stories. So tonight, this is the moment, guys. This really shows off, I think, what you guys have learned, what you have been able to do, and what you're capable of. I also want to thank so many people who are here tonight and maybe watching live, who have been part of these stories. Thank you so much for, being willing to maybe even do an interview again. I know that one of the interviews didn't work. The sound wasn't captured. What do? You adapt, right? And you do it again. So they did it again. Thank you, Jan. It was Jan Nichols who was the one interviewed. He said, we'll do it again. But yeah, are you guys ready? Yeah? Okay, I'm also ready. Who's first going to come up? Wyatt is going to share something about his story and what it is about. The mic is yours.
Thank you. Well, welcome again for the second time. So when I was told that I needed to present a story for an individual project, I honestly had no idea. And they had given me a few weeks to think on it, and just nothing was coming up. And so when the day came, I'm like, okay, I'm not ready yet. Let's have Fernanda have a go at it first. And luckily she had her thing going on. And then came back to me, and I couldn't get this thought out of my head. And it felt very random to me. But I'm like, well, why not do a story on pottery? And there's a pottery studio on base, and wonder how that helps and impacts the community around it. And so that's what I decided to do my story on. And I'm like, okay, great. I have a great story, got everything lined up, ready to go. And then things kind of fell through a little bit. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to tell this story. What's going on? And I almost gave up. I'm like, okay, I might have to do a different story. But felt like the Lord was saying to me, like, hey, I implanted that story into your heart, into your mind, and that's the story that I want you to tell. And so I pushed past all the craziness, and yeah, I never really imagined what roller coaster would be like. And so, yeah, literally for the past 3 months, I have been breathing, walking, and dreaming this story. I hope you feel inspired and encouraged. Thank you very much.
I'm Trevor Withers, and I live locally here just on the outskirts of St Albans. Travel over to Harpenden regularly to be here on the YWAM base, the Oval. I was very fortunate to have a wonderful boys' comprehensive school that had woodworking rooms and 3 metalwork rooms, a couple of art rooms and a dedicated pottery. And I loved going on the wheel, and I'd go up there and really enjoy throwing and making things. I love the mess. I love the fact that it was sort of machinery involved, but it was fairly basic. You just got the wheel going with your foot, you know, kicking it, and the wheel went round, throw the clay on, and you just have a fun time making things. Actually, Jill, good friend, we became friends working in a little office up here on the Oval. And I gradually got to know her as she sat alongside me, and we worked on different creative projects together, producing materials. One day we were just chatting as you do over lunch or coffee or whatever, and she said, oh, I love ceramics, and she described it, you know, pottery. And I said, oh yeah, I used to love making things at school, and we just had space to set it up in. So in the factory, the building that we're in now. So we set to, cleared it out, took the carpet up, painted the floor, and brought the wheel and the kiln over, and it sat there waiting for us to come in, and we still didn't create. It's sort of not important. And Jill got a bit fed up with the fact that we weren't getting in there regularly. She said, Trevor, I think you've got to find a space in your diary. We just invited people in. So we'd look in and we'd say, oh, come in, come in. And it just grew and flourished. And enjoyed doing it. We'd have conversations with.
Had met Trevor, he used to have him, so I came down to check it out and see what they're about.
For people to come and chill out, relax and enjoy having a cup of tea, painting some spots or a flower on it.
The first, I needed to help, so I joined them trying to do it in my life, and I didn't.
That in itself, I think, brings to be creative with. So
Well done. You hear? Well done. Wyatt has had a lot of, I think, adapting. Go again. I'm too fast. But Wyatt, one of the things I really admire about you is that you don't give up. And you're faithful, and you're dedicated. Yeah, you really have shown so much of your character and who you are. And times, because of planning, because things didn't work, most people would have given up, and you really kept on going. And that's such a cool thing to have as a person, to be dedicated and faithful. And yeah, well done. Really well done. One more clap, guys. Before we go to the next individual project, say to some of the people who are watching online, we have had some speakers in the school, and some of you are watching now. I just wanted to thank you for investing in our students, coming in person or over Zoom. You know who you are. Thank you so much for investing in our trainees. It has really been a pleasure having you with us this year, and hopefully in many schools to come. So thank you so much. Okay, Fernanda. Wyatt wants to say something. I can grab your book. Yes, I was like, my fly is up or down. I was like, okay, that's not it. Oh, that's good. I'll bring your book. Fernanda, the mic is yours.
Good night, guys. Actually, I'm very excited about this project because in the beginning, when Jonathan Johanke told me about this individual project, I was praying and thinking about what can I do, God? And I started to think some things about why I'm here. Why I'm here in Europe, why I'm here. And God said the same to me. Why you are here? And I say, I don't know, God. I don't know. To be honest with you, I want to go to the mountains. I want to go to the island. I want to go to the villages. I don't want to go to Europe. And God said to me, oh, so you have to do a documentary about why do missions in Europe, and you will learn more. So I say, okay. And I did this project, and in the whole process I was praying, God, give me your heart about Europe. I want to love more this continent. I want to love more these people. And this is the call to action for all of us to shake Europe, to revive Europe again, to love people. And yeah, that's it.
If we could see God, I mean, like with our own eyes right now, just sitting in heaven, and we asked him, God, what do you think of the people of Europe? I think Jesus would weep because he cares so much for the people of Europe.
They think they have everything in their mind, you know, it's like they want to understand God, or they kind of don't understand God or don't want God. But in their hearts, they really need, Jesus because we know that He's the only way, the only thing that can satisfy and can lead us into salvation. And then even with young people, I try to share sometimes, and it's challenging because they think church is boring. And when they haven't met Jesus and His real love, they think church is just church, religion.
So what's the difference between now and 30 years ago? There's a cultural difference. So practically 30 years ago, more people came to church because it was just part of their routine. So their routine was church going on a Sunday morning. And the big change happened when the shops then were permitted to open on a Sunday morning, and then it became natural for everyone to go shopping. And then the divorce rate has got higher and higher, and so Sundays often either sport, shopping, or dads meeting their children.
The great sacred secular divide became very prominent in Europe and has continued to be, where faith has been a thing of the church and it's been separated from life, and it keeps being separated from life. The main reason why families go to church on a Sunday is because if they want their children to get into a particular school. Now, I think that's a wonderful opportunity for churches. They get this captive audience, maybe for a different reason, but we get the chance to share the message that we have.
In the UK, we can look at the rate of decline at Sunday school. So in the year 1900, 90% of the nation's children went to Sunday school. In the year 1950, 70% of the nation's children went to Sunday school. And in 2012, it was around 3.5%. So that's a huge decrease over the last 60 or so, 70 years now. And that impact on society makes a big difference. So young people today are not growing up with an understanding of God or church or who Jesus is or any of those things. So the mission field is higher, the need is higher, whereas in other nations like India or African nations where Christianity is on the up, statistically there are a lot more Christians in those nations. In the Western world, because money is the new God, we haven't learned how to deal with that necessarily in Christian society yet. And so I think we've got to find a way around money not being the root of all evil, but actually being a blessing from God, and understanding it's not whether we have money or not have money, but it's more about what we do with what God has given us.
It's not only looking at their economical situation, but they need Jesus, they need the gospel, they need being revived, they need to love God it's their calling, and we need to come and bring this to Europe, and not only the poor places, the remote, but the places that they think they have everything, but they don't. First of all, the church needs to be revived. That's one of the main things, because we are called, the church needs to influence society.
It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out.
To be in missions is not as simple as it once was. It's not 5 years of training and then you go and you live in a foreign village and share, learn the language and teach them the Bible and so on and so forth. I think it's a lot more diverse and a lot bigger because things are just becoming so diverse in the areas that people need input.
I think there's some people that believe Europe is in the top sending countries and continent for missionaries, but they're really coming for in the last few years we've started seeing a rise in the global south where Africa and South America, these other places are sending missionaries to the northern hemisphere.
I think the old way, when you say missions to people, I think they thought a cap, a sandbag and a tin of baked beans and you live in a mud hut in Africa. And now missions is so much more than that understanding, right? So I can be a doctor or a businessman, and actually my mission field is my workplace. And that could be just as much as being a missionary. There's a new understanding that actually we're all called to an extent to be missionaries. But I think in Youth with a Mission, what we understand by missionaries is people who are not necessarily in the marketplace, but are more trying to reach different people groups full time, to love on people like that.
So I'm English, and I'm here on my base with lots of Brazilians. And I love the excitement, I love the passion of the Brazilian culture to share the gospel. I love their fun. With the Africans, the declaration and the confidence and the passion as well. And it really, it provokes me as an English person. Come on you, don't be so quiet. Come on you, go and share.
I love seeing Brazilians who have been in the UK for a while go down to Cornwall, where I'm from, and before you close the car door, somebody says hello to you. And it's a bit of a shock for people, because you kind of think, well, hang on, we're in the UK.
Missionaries are important in this sense, is that every culture has something of God that is different to other cultures, and then when you bring them together, you learn. The English culture, we're quite reflective. We've done a lot of theological reflection, we've done a lot of biblical reflection. So like the Koreans just taught us all how to pray, and other things too. The Americans were good at doing evangelism and sales and like, ba-da! Hey, the Brazilians have a vibrancy and a spirituality and a presupposition that God will work.
The beauty of missionaries from all over the world is that we get that mixture of cultures and lenses and ideas of who we are reflected in one another, who we are in Christ. So that's why Europe needs missionaries from worldwide.
People lost their faith here in Europe a lot, and we need to preach to those people, or people never heard of Jesus because they grew up in a society that you're not even allowed to share their faith in any public place.
Definitely are more Muslims in Europe now, and in some ways that's good, because that allows us to have dialogue with them, right? And it allows us to have an openness that isn't necessarily there in another place. So being in Europe creates more dialogue for Christians and Muslims to come alongside each other and be able to have an open and honest conversation about who God is and what his nature and character is really like.
We were praying, for Muslims to come to faith. Now I've got, my church has got people coming in from Iran, from different countries who've all come to faith in the last 5 years.
We hear stories of missionaries coming out of Europe and what God has done in this continent in the past. And then we come here and we see that the church is not fully living their calling and doing what really in their full potential in what they could do.
In Europe, that some people would think, well, we have the scriptures available in our language. Why do we need more missions? Why do we need more of that? But the truth is, we're still in decline.
Is the rich missions history it's had, the absolutely incredible heroes of the faith that have come out of this place, and not only referencing them and talking about the amazing things they did, but helping people understand that it wasn't just for a few centuries ago, it's for right now. We can do that again.
As we saw the revivals, the revivalists that we talk about from here, and then in Germany, from Norway, we see these stories and we're like, this is in their DNA, it is in there. And then, but it's kind of got forgotten, and we're like, I really believe the heart of God is that this will be revived again. and the church starts to, I really believe too, the church starts to influence society again. We hear stories of how nations here in Europe became Christians and became like putting the Bible and the principles of God into their laws and government and became successful. I believe God's heart is to see His children coming back and experiencing all that He has for them.
And I think as church and as Christian organisations, if we learn how to love on people, then I think the world changes. And I think politics, government, all of those other things, they catch up.
We're all called to partner with God in manifesting His kingdom, and I just want to see that on a large scale and see people released to do that, and hopefully see platforms and different vehicles created to see people released in those ways.
The best evangelism strategy, I believe, is letting people experience Jesus. I do believe that as coming from South America and specifically Brazil, where a lot is happening, like we see the church growing and the young people on fire, we just really feel like bringing that part to Europe.
So we're in this unique opportunity, in this unique place right now, whereby people can actually talk about Jesus and people are interested. We don't need to sell Jesus, we just need to be Jesus to people.
Oh yeah, wow. I actually waited for the outro this time. Thank you, Thiago. Wow, well done. I hope you guys have been inspired. I hope you guys it has shocked you and it has motivated you to call to action. We have a role to play. We can intentionally bring His kingdom here in Europe. And that's amazing. That's exciting. Revival in Europe. That's what we want to see, right? Amen? Yeah, Fernanda, well done. One thing, Fernanda, that I really like about you is that we, maybe to explain, so the students present their film, and then we have correction or feedback rounds, maybe that's a better word. So we give feedback on things that we could see change, but it's up to the student to accept it or not. They are the director, but I think you've listened really well to our feedback. And it was hard, I remember. It was not easy, because we talked about story structure, and you made some of those changes, and you have allowed some of those changes. You've asked for help to come in to make those changes. And I think that's really good. As a filmmaker, as a creative, it's good to include people in what you do. And I think when we include people in what we do, it shapes the vision. I think it makes it richer. But the first step to make it rich is to allow people to speak into what we do. And that's not always easy as a creative, because what we make becomes almost like our baby. It becomes precious. It becomes us. And then if someone says, well, cut off the arm. Oh no, it's going to hurt. No, sometimes you need to cut it off to make it even more nice. It's maybe a weird example, but okay. I hope you get what I'm saying. But Fernanda, well done. One thing I see in you as well, you have a heart for big theme stories, and you have a heart to see change where there's injustice. And I'm very curious to see in the future which stories you're telling to bring people into a place where there's call to action to see change come. So I look forward to what you're going to produce in the future. Can I have one more applause, please? Yes, well done. So we have two more things for this evening, but before that, I just want to thank Dudu, Thiago, and Paulo for all the media stuff on this side. It's always a lot of work, we know, but I just want to thank you for the extra time serving us, and just give them an applause. It's really cool. So two things. I would like to call you both up to this stage. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers, Wyatt and Fernanda. And I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to give the microphone to Johanneke. There she is. May I have an applause for Johanneke? Yeah.
Yeah, well, we are really, really proud of these two. They have worked really hard. I don't think you knew how hard you could work until these past couple of weeks, because it has been day and night, and like Wyatt said, it's been sleeping and waking and eating and breathing documentary. And yesterday I said, I don't know if anyone else is going to want to do the documentary school, because they are so tired. If anyone looks at them, they're going to be scared. But was it worth it? Yeah? Too soon, maybe. It's too soon. Maybe we'll ask again tomorrow. Yes? Yes?
Yes, it's very worth it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we really want to say, well done, congratulations. This was, I think, a really big push to the end to have this done. I'm not gonna say any things about babies and pushing, but but we have just, so I don't know, can you see me? Yeah. So this, some people say this is the graduation. This is not the graduation yet. This is just the premiere night. So these are not the diplomas, but they are a little token of our appreciation for you guys. And it's a little symbol. Which one is what? I don't know. I only have two hands. One pink and one blue? No. This is for Wyatt as a filmmaker. Your own clapboard. Your own clapboard. And Fernanda. And I think this was yours. And Wyatt. And yeah, it has been a really good journey with you guys. But we also wanted to thank, we have a lot of people to thank. We will do some more thanking over at the graduation. We'll tell you when. But today, we would like to thank, with these flowers, we'd like to thank the people that we have, or that you have, interviewed in your stories. I have a list on my phone, but probably you know who you are. So whoever has been in these videos, please come to the front. And then we will be able to hand over these beautiful flowers to you. So that will have been Yan, Dudu, and all the names, Trevor, and Mike, and Jean, and come on, who else? Deborah, Rachel, Sandra. Who else? Leiji, Damaris. Who else? Am I forgetting someone? Dudu is right there. And Leiji. And Brazil. Hey, Leiji. And, yeah. Oh. Thank you. We really, really appreciate all that, that you have been available for our students, and things haven't always gone as planned, but you have been a great help and inspiration to us.
Yes. So, no, so many things are in my head at the moment. There was something I wanted to say, and I don't want to miss it. Yes, I know what it is. Sometimes when you lose something in your thoughts, I've learned to then just let it go, and then it comes back. Instead of trying to find the answer, trying to find the thing in your head, it's a tip for you guys. If you want to remember something, now I forgot it again. No, I'm joking. Now, like Johanneke said, this is not the graduation of the school. We will formally graduate Fernanda and Wyatt in January, half January. But when we finish the lecture phase of this school, it's not done. We are going to have an internship, and we're sending 2 of our students to Norway who are going to work with the SEND, and that's going to be amazing. And we have Wyatt, who hopefully is going to go to Cornwall to do his internship. And yeah, I think it really is a great opportunity for them to be in the field, learn again and again, because filmmaking, you learn by doing it and making mistakes again and adapting again constantly. But you really become a better filmmaker if you're challenged and you resolve these issues constantly. So I'm very excited for you guys, for the challenges in a sense that you guys are going to face, because that's really where you really learn so much. But I also look so much forward to your stories when you guys come back half April. But before they go, before they go, they're going to go in January. But I've asked Damaris Carvalho, she's part of our base leadership. And I've just asked her just to kind of share something to encourage you guys and pray for you guys, and as you are almost leaving next year. So Damaris, thank you for being willing to encourage our students, and we look forward to hearing from you.
One of the things I learned during this pandemic is how to identify when people are smile through their eyes, which is a really good skill to have in these days. Anyway, yesterday when I got the message and asking if I would like to give a word of encouragement and pray for you, and I was in bed when I was just asking the Lord, and so what exactly He wants me to say to you, and what I had in my heart is just few prayers that I wanted to say to you guys. And so when I was thinking about being a storyteller, and this is for the staff and for the students, is when you're a filmmaker, you are actually a faith builder. And when we are telling a story, when we are reading a story, when we're watching a movie, we are building our faith. We are building of what we believe. And I remember that when I was young, I didn't know how to, it didn't have first TV because my father was a pastor and he thought it was wrong to have TV. And I used to listen to radio. And my imagination used to go wild, thinking about this whole world that was inside of that little box. And then one day I remember I saw this TV. And I was so excited because now I could not only listening, but I was able to see the people. And I thought, wow, that is another world. And now it's not just voices, but there are real people living inside. And that was my imagination. And then I was listening, I was watching, and then eventually I began to really understand few principles that I could hear or receive from that. When you're doing documentary, that's what you do. You actually are building faith. You're building world in people's heart. And you be building hope. You're giving hope to people. And that's my prayer for you. So I'm going to read a few things that I wrote this afternoon. To have faith is to be able to perceive the unseen reality. So my prayer for you guys is that now, when you're going to your outreach, that you will be able to see beyond the words, beyond the images, to see what it's not real right in front of you, but it's real in the spiritual realm also. I pray that whenever you're going to tell this story, that these stories will be able to build faith, hope, and bring transformation, exactly like you see in Romans 10:17. I pray for boldness to confront the patterns of this present generation and offer ways for them to experiment what is good, what is pleasing, and what is perfect. I pray for commitment with the truth, because the truth is what will bring freedom. I pray that you will be able to listen. When you learn how to listen, you will sharpen your perception, and you will be able to let your creativity flow. I pray for understanding. Understanding is one of the best ways to open your mind for new ideas. Don't just go thinking that you have all the answers. And I pray that you will be able to inspire and to influence. Someone called Edgar Degas say, art, it's not what you see, but what you make others to see. And I like to say that when you are a storyteller, it's not what you show, it's not just the images only, but it's what the images will really, the effect that this will create in people's heart. So this is my prayer for each and every one of you, that we'll be able to go out there, that we'll be able to be bold, think outside the box, that we'll be able to tell truth that nobody ever had the courage to show. I pray that you will be able to show the ordinary in an extraordinary way, because it's what will bring transformation. You are called to build faith. You are called to establish belief system in people's heart, because that's what God called you. That is, I remember once, and I will finish, I was in a TV program in a local place in Brazil, and I decided to preach, and I used one song that is very popular from Cazuza, and all the Brazilians here would know who he is. And that was a shock for many people, because Christians, they don't use secular songwriters as an illustration for their messages. But years and years and years later, someone came to me and said, I never will forget what you said in that message, because that really brought transformation to my heart. And what this song says, and some of you would know, say, Brazil, pay the price to show your face. And I want to say, please, rise up, stand up, and tell your stories, because Jesus Christ already paid the price. God bless you.
Amen. Yeah. Thank you so much, Damaris. Thank you. We have come to the end. We will have in the back, once we're done, we have a beautiful Father's table that Rita and her team have prepared. So we have some nice food, we'll have some music, we can do some dancing, we've got some drinks. Thank you so much for people helping with that as well. I also wanted to say to the people online, thank you so much for joining us, being with us. It really is nice to just see people from a distance being part of who we are, family and friends also of Wyatt and Fernanda. Thank you so much for coming. Maybe you're watching and you're like, I love Jesus, I like media, I would love to be a visual storyteller. If you're interested in filmmaking, contact us. We would love to hear more about your desire, and maybe next year you'll be here on stage sharing your story. So thanks for watching. Yes, can I get one more big applause for our students? Ready to come to the front? Yeah, come to the front. So, please come. This is for you.